All right, so thanks. I'm Charles Barnard. I'm now the growth engineer as a company. And what this is really just sort of talking about some of the journey, as well as the stuff that I've picked up from Facebook in terms of Facebook marketing for a guy who's never done Facebook marketing and hates marketing. Okay, so I normally do this as a slider, but I'm actually going to ask you. So let's see, maybe put that over there. No, it doesn't help. So the question is, would you rather your skin be blue like a Smurf or green like Shrek? Just as a blue. Okay, blue. Yeah.
Green.
Green. So we have the contrarian. What did you do, Donna?
Green.
And you, Maha?
Green.
Oh, evenly split. Well, that's great. Nothing much about it. It's just simply that we have different opinions. That's all. So different journeys, and it's just a little bit of an introduction. Okay. All right, so let's go. So I had some long-term objectives. I wanted to create a resilient business. Most of my business has from the Brethren group, and it's quite risky because they can change their minds at any time. If they think you've contravened their religious thing, you're out. That's it. It doesn't have to do much. For example, I was once hauled over the coals because I said that they needed to complete tasks, and it was like as if you were eating chocolate or having sex, and using those last two words was a contravention of their belief system that you speak about that in public or not.
Completing tasks.
Yeah, completing tasks. The reward is it's similar to the neurotransmissions as if you're having sex. It's a similar sort of dopamine reward.
Oh, I need to reframe my thinking.
Yeah. So anyway, that was considered to be contravening their things, and I was hauled over the coals, and I was given a last warning, all those sorts of things like that. So the Brethrens are risky, and then I also wanted to be able to travel, which means that I had to add that online income stream, and I know that. The other thing that it led to is why GNU. So you can't really see it easily, but the logo there is the symbol of what a GNU is, a stylized symbol of what the GNU's face is. GNU is sometimes known as a wildebeest, but GNU, there's an onomatopoeic sound to it, like as in new business practices. It also reflected myself as a migrant. So like a lot of people and a lot of the people that I work with, there's a migrant journey inside there, and GNUs are very migrant oriented. But the real name was derived from Gaia, Nachas, and Ubuntu, 3 different languages. Gaia is everything is connected. Nachas is the pride that a grandchild delivers to a grandparent when the grandchild achieves, and in my case, as a coach, when my client achieves. And then Ubuntu is I am because we are. I cannot be happy unless my clients are happy. It's that sort of thinking. So it means a lot to me, but to no one else. So that was one of the things like that. It says nothing about what I do. So if you're going online, that's actually quite a challenge to actually get that sort of message. You know, you're taking brain power, you're taking all sorts of things. So I realized that I needed to rebrand. Even though GNU is close to my heart, it's not what I need.
Yeah.
So, okay, so just as my best clients, so I had to take a look at it. So what are my best clients are doing it tough. They may or may not be profitable. They've definitely got cash flow issues. They will typically sell a physical product, so not service. 5 or more employees, at least that way I know they've got a business, and they're usually business to business type of operations. But most importantly, they can't be dickheads. Okay. Yeah,
Very crucial.
yeah,
That's one of my.
yeah. So the model that I actually use in my coaching is based there on ownership, culture, and capability. So in my formal qualifications, the BSc, MBA, MBC is the way that I approach things. Master of Business Coaching, MBA, and a Bachelor of Science in Engineering. But the ownership is about the MBA, the capability about the BSc, and the culture is about the Master of Business Coaching. So that's the way that I approach. So I know that what I tend to do is a numbers-based approach to growth. This is an example of the sort of thing that I do with the clients, and I decided to eat my own dog food. Yeah, do it on myself. And that numbers-based as part of the experience was really the thing. So you see the experience is numbers that comes through, which then led to the growth engineer. And that's why I rebranded. So the messaging that came out of that is be very consistent with what you're doing. And it's been really important for the Facebook marketing to actually get that online. So that's why I did it. That's where my branding is coming from and going through. Challenges, website. Obviously, the older website still exists. I'm still a small person really going through this for the first year in terms of what I'm doing as a new business. So resources to change website, I haven't changed it yet. What do you do with recommendations and reviews that are all on the other website and names? How do you transfer it across? Learning that all about Google has been a challenge. Your business cards, stationery, etc. Do you change, don't you? Especially if you're going online. Are business cards these days still relevant? You know, those are questions that you actually ask yourself. And then the worst lot is Microsoft Teams. I hate Microsoft Teams. It is the crappiest program if you're a consultant trying to work with a business. If you're in the business and you in your little cloistered little environment, it's great. But if you are an outside person working with them, so I've got a couple of places where I actually am part of their board advisory board stuff, and getting that information, I'm pulling my hair out. And it's only Microsoft Teams where I battle. So, and also because it's Apple, Microsoft and Apple hate each other. And yeah. So perhaps out of all of this, Microsoft Teams has been my biggest challenge. I would never have expected it.
Wouldn't that be easy to change?
You think so? Yeah. I hate Microsoft Teams. Yeah. Yeah, they all robots. Anyway, okay. So Facebook, money sinker or lead generator. So this is my experience in terms of Facebook, in terms of actually going online. I've had to change my branding. I've had to change all sorts of things in terms of that. So how have I actually got there? I generated those 79 leads in 10 days online. So what did it do? First of all, we had a test process. And you see those yellow ones, the cash flow and the core flash flow drivers, very, very simple. We tested 4 words and 4 sort of things like that. There's one clear winner, the word profit pump. It just sort of had more views. It had people that actually linked onto it, only about 2 out of about 1,000 views, but everything else didn't even get that level of views, even though we spent the same amount of money. Not much, $20. But it was just what was happening. So there was a clear winner. Then we tried another one where the guys in the room can't see it easily, but there's a flow chart, which I first tried, which just sort of shows how the process works. And that got a couple of leads, but nothing great. And then it changed to the spreadsheet. Now remember, I'm trying to focus on numbers-based people. And that's what it was. And giving them that template, numbers with a little video on it, has been the greatest thing for me in terms of actually driving it. So again, it's that message up front of what do you do, what do your customers want to experience, and then aligning your marketing to match that has been absolutely great. And this isn't a guy who doesn't do marketing at all, but learned from books. And that's what my experience is. So this is part of what I've done. So if you look at it, the bottom lead, which is just simply conversations, there were 50 leads that came out of that, at a cost of about $5 something a lead. The other one is the lead generation, which has started only 4 or 5 days ago. Slight tweak to the ad. Got 26 leads, a lot less spent, but at $4 a lead. So there's an 80% improvement, 20% improvement in terms of the cost. So the net result is that I've actually switched off the bottom lead thing. And I'm actually only focusing my money on the top ad in terms of this one here, because it's cheaper, delivering better results. And that's the way that I'm learning to stop going on spending too much on Facebook. So I'm spending a maximum of $20 a day. And that's my journey so far. If there are any real lessons, it's that need to actually drive the message, that's how you align. So from a personal side, I hate intruding. I found that out about myself, I should say. So being invited in is better than a cold call. And that's where the leads come in. The bottom ad that I showed you, one of the reasons that I stopped it was that it was about conversations. And I realized that a lot of my clients are probably tend towards the autistic spectrum. They're neurodiverse. So the numbers side, they don't like people. So the conversations are something that they don't want. So it's really give them the information, give them the information, give them the information, rather than the conversation. So that's something that I have picked up and I've changed it. The other thing is if your front end doesn't work, in other words, your alignment, your marketing, and the way to actually monetize it doesn't work, don't do Facebook ads. So I've got a process at the back end, which I'm not showing today, which actually goes into putting people into a particular group and course that I'm selling. And then the back end is when they're actually on the course, is where the real money is made. So when I start doing an ad to ROI on the back end, remember I was talking about $4 a lead? I'll probably get about $1,500 net per lead as a result of that. So there's a huge multiplication impact, but only out of the back end.
So I don't know the difference between front end and back end.
Okay, front end is the first offer that you give to somebody. So when I go into my model, I always talk about profit pump and first, but the real thing is the actual coaching around everything else, from the goal setting and strategizing to governance processes in the business, how you actually drive culture and employee engagement, and the things like process mapping and value stream engineering. That's the back end, but I don't talk about that when I'm dealing with clients up front.
So how do you define a lead? What is a lead?
So a lead for me would be typically, when I spoke about those clients doing it tough, typically there'll be a family business owner.
How do you count that?
Is it someone who just likes your post?
No,
So what happens when they
they've
see
actually
your post?
downloaded and given me an email address.
Okay. And do they get something in return?
Yes, absolutely they do. So that little spreadsheet, yeah. I am giving them a lead magnet, yes. That spreadsheet that I showed, right, well, I didn't show it, but yeah.
And then if a lead's
And
costing
so
you,
do you have an order, sorry?
Yeah.
if a lead's costing you $4,
Yeah.
and a conversion gets you $1,000,
Yeah.
you only have to convert 1 in 250
Yeah.
for it to be
Break even.
positive ROI.
Yeah, that's it. So, yeah, I am doing a bit better than that.
So you could do retargeting ads now on people.
Absolutely. So the other part of this is that's now part of new business, no list building. So that bottom line, list building is expensive short term, but that's the retargeting ads and email lists and stuff like that that I'm actually getting in. Yeah. So that's my journey.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Charles?
That's it.
I find that the whole Facebook thing very overwhelming. Hence,